Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Usually when I produce a video, I have a kind of a process in mind. I'm going to do the plastics, or I'm going to do this, or that, the other. And I've been deferred. The plastic's going to be now the last thing. It all has to do with getting the engines to run. Bearing in mind that there's two here that didn't run before. Rebuilt them, so the carburetors some of them were in bits and pieces. So all that stuff has to be checked, and it's taking a little bit longer than I anticipated, but they will go. So stick around. If any of these things have happened to you in the past with your bike, or you learn something about the electrics on these old vintage bikes, then this is the channel for you, and I'm more than delighted to give you some steerage that way. So I'll see you on the other side. Right, it's that time now to see whether the electrics are done correctly and there's no issues. Let's take this off. There we go. Okay, we've got spark. It's not massive, but then again, I'm kicking it by hand, but definitely there is spark there. A few things to adjust. This has got to be removed, and that's got to come back a little, otherwise you're going to get this, kind of that. What else? Just making adjustments. This is fitted in really well. That's touching, so that's not good. That's how tight these Suzukis are. They really are super tight. So that is incorrect. That's going to have to change. Wow. New cable going in. We're getting there. Got spark, which is super. So we know this bike will run. What do you think, Millie? Shall we go? Come. So a few adjustments you have to make when you try and fit these exhausts is this thing I bent a little bit straighter. This screw I changed out, but in hindsight I probably would have been able to live with the Allen keys, but I prefer these traditional screws. So I've got a gap there, and then most importantly is this very subtle gap here, because if this thing touches, you're going to get abrasion hole through there. Now these are aftermarket caps. They don't actually belong on these bikes. They don't have domes on them, which is obvious to me now why they didn't have domes, because they extend too far out. But in this particular case we seem to be right. So I've got a few of these little scratches as I've been fiddling around trying to get everything to fit. So we'll get all that tidied up. As you see me done other restoration projects, the assembly part does have a little sacrifices it makes. I got to get the radiator in. This is now on. That's sealed, which is nice. Attached. This is all very solid. There's a little bit of contact here. leaking so far. I just want to run the engine. I don't really waste oil if I have to take it all out. This is a test to see whether this carburetor, if you remember, this carburetor was made up of parts, so I had to set the float level as I thought was correct. So let's see if we get anything. Fingers crossed. Let's go and try and start this now. So this is bike number 3. So I didn't hold much hope out for this bike because it was literally in a multitude of pieces, and so this one is a real challenge. I suspect this one will be tricky to start, but who knows? Let's have a go. Very slight though. I'm going to put this leftover fuel onto the spark plug and see if I can ignite it. Then I know I've got a carburetor problem. At least the water's not leaking. Yeah, something's not right. I think the spark is not strong enough. That's my feeling. Right, back in the light, as I can see, so I've got a little bit of spill, but that just could be, yeah, that's overflow. That's overflow that I can expect. So far so good, which is good. Now I just want to check to see why I'm getting such small spark. I've got another spare stator for this, so I could swap that out. I just want to check and see what's going on here. I mean, this is an old plug, but this one ran on the other engine pretty well, so I know the spark plug works. It's just I'm waiting for the new ones to come. So it could either be this fella here or this. So let me go and see if I've got a spare one. All right, let me have that go at that one. I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board because this plug is not the same as this plug. So, not sure what's going on here. They look like two positives. This one and this one. Okay. Okay. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. I think that might be it. Okay, good. Let's see if I can start it now. So I've got these iridiums, which is the correct size, just literally arrived. I'm going to just dip this in fuel just to see if I've got a starvation problem. Okay, we've got loads of spark. So it can only be a carburetor issue. Only thing I can think of is it's been wired the wrong way around. So I'll put the other stator on now and see if that will fire it up. Just going to restay dry while I try and figure this out. Out. Oh, straight away. Out what's happening with that stator. All good to go. Fantastic. Great. Okay. Small job to sort out. I'm going to see how easy it is to kick her over. Great. So what I've looked at now is I've measured all of these stators that are not the same stator as there. And this one is wired different and has no ground. And this one has a ground, but it is producing much higher values than that one, even though it's built pretty much the same. So unfortunately, it looks like this stators are going to be incorrect, because I know bike number 3 works just fine with that. So I'm going to go and see if I can find one of these. I'm still really pleased I got this bike running. It sounds really good. I now know what the problem is, which is great because we can sort that out. The stator is just not working. I've tried to change the wires over to try and see if I can get it to fire in the right point. I'll still look into it, but if there's anybody out there who has a stator for the RM 1982 125Z model, please get in touch. This is what it looks like. This is the number. I'd really appreciate if there was somebody out there that had one, then I can get this bike running. So this is bike number 2. This one should go fairly quickly, only because I've just have a refresher with bike number 3. So let's hope there are no issues. We'll get the bearings in here, fit the engine, mount this. Oh yes. So I'll just finish building this one up now, and hopefully we can get it started today with some nice sunshine instead of rain, which is a difference. So let's see how we go. clamp that. Okay, that's better. Seems to have held off now. And we've got to the full float height. So let me go and find some oil, any old oil just to stick in the gearbox. Just really just lubricate the system. And then I'll drain it off when I'm ready. But let's see if we get this one to run. Okay, choke on. Okay, that's the first problem, the choke doesn't go on. Mara, can you come this side and hold the choke from that side? Just hold it up. Don't worry, it won't bite you. I want to see if I have water in the oil here. No, that looks all right. Oh, wow. That's a bonus. Okay. So that's a big milestone today. All three engines are running, but that goes without saying that all three of them have some little issues attached to them, but nothing massive. The number one motorcycle has a issue with the radiator, that's fine. Then the second one has, or number two has an issue with the leaking water pump, and the third one has an issue with not having a stator. Now I found a stator for the third one, and it looks like it comes off an old RM80. So I'm hoping that will work. If I don't, I'm in trouble. But so far we've got all three running, and that's really, really good. I'm happy. This is bike number 2. I'm going to take this bike out for a little run, see what gremlins we've got, what we still need to do. through a little bit. Looks like I've got a radiator leak coming from up here. Well, the good news is that's doesn't look to be leaking. Looks like this clamp was not working. I think we'll see. We'll build up some pressure, see if that gives us any trouble. But it looks like it was wrong. Yeah, she pulls nicely. That's the main thing. It runs. This is inevitable. We have to do some adjustments on these things. But yeah, nice. So this is the state of play. The second RM, bike number 2, as you know it, is complete. When I say it's complete, it is all those little gremlins are sorted. The water that was coming out at the bottom, I fixed the seal. Also later on while it was running, as you saw, I had an issue with water coming out. That's just because the clamp wasn't on. I didn't see that I hadn't pushed it all the way up. These things happen. I fixed the choke. The choke now pops upright. Lever is good. What else? That's it really. She's idling now. There was an issue with one of the internal retainer plugs, the little plastic, nylon plastic that sits here. That was moving around freely inside, which was giving me varying idles. So once I settled that down, I was able to adjust the idle. So the idle now is good. She bottoms out now, which is good. So, yep, this bike is sounding really nice. Obviously, I haven't pushed it, so I'm not sure where the idle jet or the main jet is set correctly, but that's for another time. Now I'm going to go back onto bike number 1. And I'm going to attempt to fix the radiator leak, which is just underneath there. And that's it for today.